It is 420, which means if you're 14, you better grab your tech deck and your Supreme hoodie and smoke some fucking pot whilst chanting the 14 words, because you can't forget, 420 is also a special someone's birthday. And speaking of special, I think it's time I address the commentary community again. This is a video I've wanted to upload for quite some time now. This is something I've wanted to say for quite a while now. But I've just never really had the chance to really upload this video with all this shit going on. And that is the way people seem to communicate in this community, because it's fucking AIDS. And yes, I will be bringing up those fucking vents, so man, I can't wait for the fucking comment section here, as if people actually are gonna watch this video. Now, every time I see shit happen in the community, it always seems to be because no one wants to actually talk to each other and settle things like adults. Because, in fact, the way drama usually ends is a matter of who gets tired first, or who looks like the biggest fucking retard. Nobody ever wants to talk to each other and settle things out, mainly because it always gets drowned out by the screaming on both sides. Now, don't get me wrong, but these people really don't like it when you come onto Twitter and start shit for whatever reason. And that can be annoying for, like, anyone, really, but I don't think it's as annoying as these people seem to make it out to be. To these guys, it's like a fucking taboo. And for some reason, every time I see shit go down and someone makes a video about it, they always say at the beginning, "This is gonna cause so much drama," as if anyone cares about some dumb internet bullshit that they probably don't even understand themselves. Everywhere I go, the same shit seems to be happening. Instead of actually settling things naturally, what I've been seeing over the past year is a constant bombardment of comments or tweets talking about how bad someone is, probably because they didn't like the new Doodle Tones commentary or whatever. Instead of actually fucking replying to people, half the time it's mainly just stupid fucking subtweeting that sort of goes like, "Wow, so-and-so is such an asshole, I don't want to have anything to do with him." Or anything beginning with, "I'm not gonna name names, but..." Yeah, I'm not gonna name names, okay then. This guy is a fucking asshole who does all of this shit and fucking kicks babies or whatnot. Did you know this guy said that we are worse than Leafy is here? Now, I'm not going to tell you who this guy is. I'm not going to name names, because that would be bad for some reason. And from the shit I've been seeing, private accounts probably are a fucking suspect in this case, and they seem awfully fucking suspicious. A while back, I posted a tweet about the commentary group Fox, or Federation of the Exalted, and all of a sudden, I see replies from a friend of mine. And judging from these tweets, it looked like he was in some kind of argument, since in each reply there was another username. But only if you properly read them. If you just glanced at it for a little bit, it seemed like he was just tagging someone randomly while talking to himself. Was he talking to himself? Who knows? So I see this account, and then, oh, it turns out that it was a private account. Maybe, just maybe, it was a mishap. It was a mistake. Maybe it wasn't intentional. So I go to my friend and ask him about it. And it turns out that this guy really did use his private account to tweet at me. He didn't see the fucking lock right next to his name. And I probably would have believed that unless I saw this, which the account posted a day after I had made my tweet. And it seems kind of strange. Why would someone use a private account to tweet at me and tweet about me when I can't even see what they're saying? Especially when it's a private account. And that's the thing with private accounts. You can limit the people who see them. You can limit who sees the shit that you tweet to a bunch of ass-kissing retards who can't think for themselves. Now, I'm not saying that this is what this guy has done, but there is a very high chance that this is what was going on around the time I made that tweet. Now, what do I think of private accounts? A private account is fine to have, but if you give someone the ability to view those tweets, be wary, because there is a high chance that one of them might distribute that shit to the entirety of the internet, and you'll look like a fucking retard once your furry porn is up on display for everyone to see. And this, along with some of the other shit that I've gathered, has led me to a certain hypothesis. And what might that be? Now, here's a what if. What if people are using these private accounts, or as the commentary community likes to call them, vent accounts, to shit-talk other people and create an absolute circle jerk? I mean, they couldn't trust any fucking retard that could very easily spill a boatload of spaghetti on the floor and include the name of the guy who's been fucking with everyone. It has to be a dedicated white knight, someone who is ready to die on the battlefield for Milady. Not to mention, it's a lot more efficient than blocking, since when you make a private account, everyone is already blocked to begin with. Meaning you can limit the people who see your tweets to very good friends, VIPs. And then there's what people say in defense. There are people who actually say this as well, mind you. He was venting. He was angry. Don't criticize him because he was not happy. Well, shit. Is that why the Cleveland police force didn't arrest the guy who live streamed himself killing a fucking old man? Because he was a little pissed? Oh, that fucking explains everything. It sort of reminds me of the Clinton Podesta situation from last year. Instead of addressing what was in the emails that were exchanged, they would have someone like Chris Cuomo or whatever hack come on and say, these guys are assholes, they're being really naughty and they're not allowed to be doing this. Rather than addressing the issue you would assume people would care about. Oh, you don't want to see what's in those. That would be a little too problematic. It really does seem that these vent accounts are more of a Pandora's box than anything, especially in a community focused on criticizing each other. Why would a community like this have a bunch of people talking shit about other people behind their back? Especially people who are in the same community. And then there's a time where I leak shit out and send it to Borg, because that seemed to cause some grade A fucking reactions, such as the Doodle Tones one that no one will ever shut the fuck up about. Yeah, and that includes me, since it's the funniest fucking shit ever.
They can't have anxiety over something irregularly negative happening to them and leaking private vents to others, even though venting is just a release of pent-up emotions at a person that people need, else they snap and shoot up a school. And seriously, don't give me that shit about blocking people making you an SJW. You ran yourself off the internet because you made those private vents Todd leak to you? Public.
Imagine how that would go down. Some kid on the internet got caught in his own bullshit, so he decided to walk into school with automatic weapons and kill half the student body. Wow, this could actually happen in real life. This is very fucking believable. And it's even funnier when you see the fucking half-assed defense Doodle came up for this tweet. The same tweet that he said I was breaking the law for screenshotting a tweet and sending it to someone through Skype. Because he's fucking stupid. Literally the same shit. I was angry, you can't criticize me. I think it goes even deeper than this. And a little while ago, Ryan came out and wrote a twit longer about how wrong everyone is and how wrong you are if you disagree with them. And as we all know, manlets make the best fucking decisions. You should always believe what they say. They do nothing but good things. You both piss me off as neither of you Bagtrons understand how venting actually works. You remember those people who talk shit behind your back and didn't know who it was from middle school and high school? That's pretty much a vent account in a nutshell. At least the ones that have tweets where they bitch about people. But if I was the person the private account was talking shit about behind my back, my opinions of that person would sour. Sour like a lemon. Now, using that account as a way to talk shit behind someone's back, well, as long as it's not being used to talk shit behind someone's back, it's all good. Having a lower opinion of someone for talking shit about you behind their back? Man, I just don't know what's with that guy. Doesn't he know that common sense is a bunch of bullshit? What is wrong with people who think like this? We in the commentary community do not want you to make rational decisions. First of all, I don't know how many vent accounts you follow, if any, but a majority of them straight up clarify that their events aren't in any way their long-term opinion. Yeah, let me just throw in all of these people who address that it's not a long-term opinion. Now, I'm not going to tell you who these people are. That's why I've cropped out their names so you can't find out who they are and whether or not they have a history of covert shit-flinging or straight-up lying. You can trust me that these people never lie. And even the ones that don't and or do, in fact, clarify that it's to avoid backlash on what they're talking about. Well, you heard it there. Ryan has admitted that the purpose of vent accounts is to avoid backlash on what they're talking about. And I want to continue with this because it really does seem to highlight why I have such an issue with vent accounts. It should still be implied that nothing they say there, unless said otherwise outside the vent, is their long-term opinion, and it should with that be implied that they don't want their vents to reflect their followers' opinions either. Now, I'm going to use an example from my vent to explain why what you two are saying is legit bullcrap. I got super angry at a friend of mine sometime at the beginning of this month, and I did use my vent to get out my frustrations towards the guy. I was venting my anger out. And it turns out, when it got to the point of confrontation, things were chill. I was chill. I didn't end up blowing up on him. And this situation was resolved. To be fair, I didn't confront him because it was a situation that wasn't my business. Hence why I didn't break in the middle of it and instead vented on my account. Because if I broke in, I would not only be intruding, but I would irrationally handle the situation without all the info needed to actually debate against the side I was angry at. I don't know about that. It kind of seems like you're getting involved by talking about it anyway. He just doesn't know that you are. Then I made a tweet basically letting everyone know that it was a misunderstanding, referring back to my tweet that, A, you guys know that I don't mean everything I say on here, right? It was just a prank, bro. This is just for getting my frustrations out, and that's it. Heck, if the person that you're venting about is someone that they happen to not like and or don't want to attempt a friendship with, I re-ask, what's the issue here? It's better than going out in the open and screaming, hey guys, watch me publicly yell about how I don't like this person. I did it a few times, and guess what? It blew up in my face because I irrationally lashed out at the person's character. Man, I love being a stupid, impulsive little shit. Instead of actually fixing the problem I have, why don't I just make another account where I can be an impulsive little shit and not learn anything from my mistakes? God, 4chan would fucking love someone like you. Without clearing my head first. I would also like to add that when I say don't like this person, I mean doing nothing but randomly saying they're a bad person with insults and the such. So no, I'm not saying you can't publicly call out a person or give your opinion on their actions, you dip. The person you're venting about gets nothing from you, and you really get nothing from it. What's the issue of showing distaste for someone behind closed doors if neither of you care to be friends to begin with? What's the problem with posting about someone you don't even like on your main Twitter account? Does it really matter if everyone sees it or not? It should be obvious that you don't like him, or it should at least be clear if you're not friends with him or her, unless you're trying to hide something. And if it's because of that, then it might be a good idea to use a private account. Last thing I guess I could say is someone venting about something someone said instead of calling them out. Allow me to play devil's advocate. What if they want to cool their head before entering a debate because you know that's the point, or heck, implying they never enter the debate? Maybe they recognize that they're too emotionally driven to properly join in said debate. Sure, I'll acknowledge that this isn't always the case. I'm not saying that every vent account is perfect, and everyone does them in the correct way. But you guys are making the simple action of getting rid of angry emotions as to try and avoid doing something irrational out to be something that is both wrong to do unless it follows some kind of moral correctness, when for the most part that goes against the entire point. Also, you're acting like people who should always bring their issues out in the open or up to a person, even if they don't want anything to do with each other, when these things aren't as black and white as you guys are trying to make it out to be. It's called variables to a situation. If you simplify everything to its bare minimum to make everything a black and white mess, then you become just that, a simpleton. And going back to what I said earlier about me minding my own business, maybe you guys should do the same. Well, that should give us a good idea of who Ryan is and how smart he is. I mean, look at these comments. Preach. Couldn't have said it better. Now, who exactly are these people? Could it be the same guys who made stupidly long twitlongers about how I'm apparently a bad human being for screenshotting a fucking tweet? Oh, wait, no, never mind. I have never seen these guys before. How comes I see none of these people talking about FNGR Skype logs when they were leaked on Cow and Kiwi Farms for everyone to see, just to laugh at his stupidity? I mean, a Skype group and a private Twitter account are practically as private as each other. Why hasn't anyone come out about that? Better yet, how comes people like Doodletones didn't say a thing to people like Chambers, who pretty much put the Alt-CC on a spotlight when she revealed private information, which was limited to that chat? But when the same thing happens to Doodletones, he acts like a man-child and says he can't go on living, and he had the rope set up and everything. Why is it not an issue in the prior case? Why does it always seem to be an issue when someone has something to hide? And then there's Doodletones making his vent account, which is very odd, especially considering the fact that he's called his friends sociopaths before. And also he got the idea because some people found the tweet about me, which is fucking hilarious, of course. I mean, someone wants to make an account where no one can see what they're posting, and the same person has talked shit about their friends. I mean, doesn't this seem a little weird? Doesn't this seem a little suspicious to you when you connect the dots? So here's a little TLDR. They make a private account because they want to talk shit about people without facing any repercussions. They use their popularity to set up a narrative which makes everyone assume that the mere idea of criticizing what these people say on these private accounts is committing the terrible crime of wrongthink. They set up a little clique of people, probably loyal or retarded friends, that will listen to anything they say without question and create a circle jerk out of what they're saying. I mean, would your best friends ever doubt you and your god-tier intuition? And then they perpetuate another narrative about the person that they've been shit-talking without them being any the wiser. Anyone who dares to criticize them like this is responded to with a sort of defensive hostility. All of this is a way to get away with saying whatever they want in their community without looking like retards. They can say shit no matter how stupid or wrong it is, and their friends will stroke their ego no matter what. They even go as far as to gaslight anyone who dares to disagree or dares to go against what they're doing, saying to them that you probably celebrate death and that you're going to be responsible for the next fucking Sandy Hook. That's a little bit of a fucking stretch, don't you think? And you wonder why this community is failing. You're a community that prides itself on being free-thinking and critical, but you can't even handle shit people say to you on the internet. Get your fucking heads out of your asses.